graphing of a line. We talked about graphing a line in the last video with a table. We set up ordered pairs. We plugged in either X or Y, found the other one, wrote our ordered pairs, plotted them, and then drew the line from those points. Today we're going to look at graphing a line using intercepts. But first off, what is an intercept? Well, with your y-intercept, it's where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, intercept is intercepting, it is crossing the y-axis. So when it crosses the y-axis, okay, if you look at your graph, your x is always 0. So your ordered pair is going to be 0b, or I'm fine if you want to write that as 0y, because it's going to be your x is going to be 0, your ordered pair, your x will be 0, and your y is going to be wherever it crosses the y-axis or intercepts the y-axis. The same thing is true of your x-intercept. It is where the line crosses the x-axis. So your y is going to be 0. And again, if you want to write your ordered pair as x, whatever your x coordinate is, and then your y is going to be 0. So like look at the graph over here. You can see there's my x-intercept. Sorry, I just wrote right on top of that, but you can see there's my x-intercept. And it gave you the ordered pair then is -4, 0, because if I've named that point, it's at -4 on the x-axis and 0 on the y. And then the same for my y-axis. It crosses at that point at +2. So my point is 0, 2, because it's 0 on the x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. All right, so look at this first type of problem we're going to be looking at, just naming the intercepts. So those are really easy. You just look to see where is it crossing the x-axis. It's crossing the x-axis at 20. So my x-intercept has to be 20. So this is a multiple choice problem, so I know immediately I can eliminate D and I can eliminate A because my x-intercept has to be 20. I look over here, where's it cross my y-axis at 30? So it is choice B. So my x-intercept is 20 and my y-intercept is 30. So again, a y-intercept or an x-intercept is just where it crosses that axis. Where does it intercept or cross that axis? All right, now we might also have to name some, but also tell what does it mean. Okay, we can't just name a point. We got to understand, especially if it's on a chart or a graph, what does that point mean? All right, so look on this one. If I ask you to name the x-intercept on this one, where does it cross my x-axis? Right there at 25. So my x-intercept is 25. So if you want to write that ordered pair, that would be 25, 0. Okay, because it's 25 on the x-axis, 0 on the y. But now look at what does my x-axis mean? Time in minutes. My y-axis means my temperature in Fahrenheit. So what does my x-axis or my x-intercept mean? It means after 25 minutes, the temperature was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So again, it's just understanding what does that point mean. And just look at your axis and how they're labeled. All right, my y-intercept is where does it cross my y-axis? At -4. So my ordered pair would be 0, -4. Again, what does that mean? Well, my x is minutes. So at 0 minutes, or when I'm starting, because no time has passed, so I'm starting at -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so it's always really easy to see those intercepts when they're on the graph because you can just see where they're crossing those lines. Now, what if I had a table like this one? I've got my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Well, remember what we said on that very first slide. When I have my x-intercept, that's when I know my y has to be 0. So when I look at your chart, where's my y 0? Right there. What's my x? 12. So my x-intercept is 12. The ordered pair would be 12, 0. But what does that mean? Again, look at your chart. My x is my time in seconds. Y is my depth in meters. This is a scuba diver. How deep is he? Well, After 12 seconds, he's at a depth of 0 meters, which is going to be what? He's at the surface. So after 12 seconds, the scuba diver is at the surface of the water. My y-intercept is got to be what? When my x is 0, so where's my x 0? Right there. My y is going to be negative 24. So my x-intercept is negative 24. Again, what does that mean? Well, after 0 seconds, or when we're starting, okay, no time has passed, the diver is at negative 24 meters. So the diver's starting at negative 24 meters, or 24 meters below sea level. Okay, or 20, not necessarily sea level, below the depth of the water. All right, so that's just interpreting what those intercepts mean. Now, let's look at graphing using our intercepts. You know, we did them yesterday with the tables, and that was just plugging in the points for x or y, getting the answer, plotting the points, drawing the line. Well, this is really and truly the same thing we're going to do, except we're going to find our two intercepts. Where does it cross the x-axis? Where does it cross the y-axis? And then we're going to draw our line. Remember, to find where it crosses the x-axis, we're going to make our y 0. To find where it crosses the y-axis, we're going to make our x 0. So let's just plug in first here. I'm going to plug in for my y. 3x plus 2. My y is going to be 0 equals 12. That's really just going to be what? 3x equals 12. So x is going to equal to 4. So my ordered pair is just going to be 4, 0. On this one, to find my y-intercept, I'm going to make my x 0. So that's 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 12. So that's really just going to be 0 plus 2y, which is what? 2y equals 12. So y is going to equal to 6. So my point is, sorry, I'm having a hard time writing that. 0, 6. Can you read that? That's awful messy. Let me try that again. Sorry about that. Try that again. 0, 6. So now all I've got to do is plot those points. 4, 0. So come out on my x-axis. Okay, come out to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 on my y. Again, 0.06, go to 0 on my x, up to 6 on my y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I just draw my line. Again, you'll want to use your ruler so you get a nice straight line. There I have now graphed that line using intercepts. So now you know two ways of graphing that line. You can make a table or you can use intercepts. All right, so let's make sure we get this straight in your heads. Remember to find the x-intercept. My ordered pair is going to be x 0, whatever my x-intercept is, and my y has to be 0. To find my y-intercept, my x has to be 0, and then I'm going to have whatever my coordinate is for y, where it crosses my y-axis. Okay? So to find my x-intercept, my y has to be 0. To find my y-intercept, my x has to be 0. All right, let's do one more real quick before I turn you loose for the evening. Again, let's graph this line using intercepts. We could do it with a table, but let's do it with intercepts. Again, to find my x-intercept, I'm going to have to make my y 0. To find my y-intercept, I'm going to have to make my x 0. So let's plug in our points. So making my y 0, 3x plus 5y equals 15. Or excuse me, not 5y, let's make that 5 times 0. So that's 5 times 0 equals 15. So 5 times 0 is just 0, and 3x plus 0 is just 3x. So 3x equals 15. Divide both sides by 3. X is equal to 5. So my ordered pair is 5, 0. Plugging in my x now is going to be 0. So 3 times 0 plus 5y equals 15. So that's just going to be 0 plus 5y. So that's just 5y equals 15. Divide both sides by 5. So y is equal to 3. Plugging in my point, 0, 3. Now all I've got to do is plot my ordered pairs. So 5, 0. Go out to 5 on my x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plot my point. Go up to 0, or excuse me, go to 0 on my x-axis and then up to 3. There's my x-intercept. And hopefully you'll do a better line than I did because you've got a ruler. And you can get a nice straight line there. So now you know how to graph lines 2 different ways, using a table or using intercepts. All right, we'll practice this tomorrow in class. Hope you have a great night. See you tomorrow. And most importantly, remember what? Jesus loves you.